Yes, we out here on that 5D ascension tip. We're out here expressing ourselves. We're out here confronting the pain. We're not hiding no more. We're not resisting no more. We're not defending no more. We're out here being vulnerable and authentic with each other, being open and honest with one another. We're out here letting down our guard and expressing who we really are and letting the world know. We're giving in. We're letting go. So these are the key ingredients to any ascension. It's too easy for the ego to overcomplicate matters. It's too easy for the ego to distort the process and to make it into something much more grander than it really is. Now, I've learned that personally in my journey. For sure, my masculine part has been an overdrive for many years, and what I've been learning recently is that to give it a little breathe, give it a little pep talk now and again, which I've had to do because I simply do not have the energy, simply do not have the fight. And this is manifested in, say, example, doing these videos and doing other new activities and meeting new people and forming bridges with members of the soul family that previously I actually felt incapable of doing. I felt like I needed to defend, I felt like I needed to resist, I felt like I couldn't bear to face the wounds, to let them heal. See, I learned that I've learned to treasure my masculine for what it is. It's too easy for me to be like, to demonize it, to criticize it, and say it's hurt me, to say it's not been productive. But it's just been a misuse of my masculine. My masculine has the best interests. What it wants is to defend my honor, to defend my pain, and that was my only way to survive. It was a survival mechanism, and I am truly blessed that I have that part of me to use. For sure, it has its uses. But I had to give a little pep talk and, say that, give it a little rest. It's been working overtime for many years now, and I feel ready to let go, to take the foot off the accelerator and stop trying to press forward, stop trying to live up to crazy expectations, stop trying to control the narrative, to surrender to the process. Because the reality is that the only way the wounds are going to heal is if I stop playing with them, if I stop messing with them, I stop touching them, stop trying to keep the plaster on. That's the way I've been visualizing it. I visualized in regards to my trauma is that I've had the wound, I've had the plaster. In front of the plaster, I've just been defending the fact that I'm defending and resisting any opportunity for growth, whether that be doing videos, whether that be meeting new people, reuniting with members of the soul family, which is intensely painful. But that's what has to happen, and that feels extraordinarily uncomfortable, especially from a male point of view, when your entire life has been socially conditioned prior to awakening about trying to obtain money, trying to obtain wealth, trying to climb up the social hierarchy of capitalist society and maintain your sense of identity through those means, and fundamentally escape your trauma through those means. And that's something I've had to battle with tremendously. I've just been resisting my authentic self, my soul path, because the pain has been so raw that the idea of letting go of all my past life, my past job, my past businesses, my past wealth, my past place within society was too raw. It was too raw. On top of the fact that letting go of an unhealthy lifestyle, drinking drunk habits was intense. So, the masculine served me for sure. But I'm reaching a point in my journey that it's time to let go, it's time to surrender, it's time to be authentic. I'm learning that authenticity and vulnerability are truly superpowers, truly are serving me well. Don't get me wrong, it's uncomfortable from a male point of view. However, it's time to take the defenses down, take the plaster off, and let the wound heal. Because that's what I've been doing recently with mine, in my balancing of my energies. Is, I've just silenced my feminine energy because the idea of not defending my honor was too. It felt too vulnerable. It felt like a weak move. It felt like a failure. As parts of my ego that still feel that. I feel the idea that I'm not running my old business and not trying to obtain my old job or trying to obtain my old friends is truly confusing and truly painful for for the male to surrender to those realities, because in the male's idea, in the masculine energy, it's a failure, and that lack of self-worth then kicks in, and then it's like, oh, it's a real emotional storm that really causes panic, and for me causes resistance. But I'm out here to tell you along my journey, I'm willing to surrender, to be open, and doing these videos is part of my healing journey, adhering to the divine plan that we are all destined for. The people watching this video, the souls come down here, and everyone will be able to do it. I'm not saying that I'm even going to definitely be into it. I still got to put the work in. It's too easy to rest on your laurels and say everything's fine, but the reality is that we have to put ourselves through uncomfortable situations in order to obtain that level of frequency where we will be in alignment with the divine plan, which the members who are aligned will know in due course. And I'm still going through that process. I still have that. I have these little moments. It's pretty intense. When I go off course, or if I'm having little self-sabotage moments, or have my little anger outbursts or tantrums, and because I'm feeling punished or I'm feeling victimized because I'm not getting my own way, I get these from time to time. I get these real intense kind of I don't know how to describe it, kind of like intuitive messages from the soul, from the oversoul, from the soul family, that put me in line and make me realize the importance of not just me, but of the collective soul of the soul families all over the world that came down here for the duty of the divine plan, for the harvest, for the event, for the transition to the 5D. Because what we're going through now is just preparation. It's an initiation, and my ego was getting very lost in failure and in failure and being a loser, and and being and the idea that I wasn't getting my own way, I wasn't getting my success, was truly troubling for the masculine, and something which I had to remedy a lot and tune into my feminine, and really be vulnerable, really be authentic, really be open and honest. It really is a superpower, something that I'm really when you spent so many years defending and resisting it took up so much energy, and when you just kind of just open up with someone, saying like a memory of a soul family or your twin flame, or you do something or you express yourself, or you stand up for yourself, or you do something you would never normally do, that relief, that sense of feeling alive is truly priceless. It really is. It makes it all the worthwhile going through all that pain, and those moments are just relief, because you're no longer defending, you're no longer wasting energy on trying to defend who you aren't. Basically, it's letting go to who you really are and to what you're really destined for. So that's what I've been learning, balancing that masculine getting trippy on that masculine, on that masculine and that feminine energy. But that's one part of it. That's one part of it of me is the first letting down the guard, stopping a fight. Okay, then you got to take the plaster off, and you got to reveal the wound, and that's the hard part. You let go, you surrender, but then you got to put yourself out there. It's easy to surrender and not do anything with your life. If you surrender and then you put yourself out there, that's when you got to face the wound and you got to let it heal. It may you do you meet some new people, or you try to reconcile with a twin flame or some member of soul family, or you do something you feel like you should have done. You feel that feels true to your heart that you've not done, and their little attempts at taking the plaster off. But initially, and this is similar to when you actually have a plaster on covering a wound, and you try to peel it off slowly, and it's agonizing because it's peeling off those hairs, just one by one. You're like, ooh. You try it again slowly, like, oh no, I'm going to keep the plaster on. I'm going to keep that plaster on. Has to be on. It's too painful. And then you clock, so you think the only way I can get this off if I just yank it off and get it done with. That's the only way it can be done. I feel there's similarities between that and this process of surrendering, of rebalancing those masculine and feminine energy, surrendering to who you are, to what you're destined for, to the divine plan, to your authentic self, to love, to light. So the ego can think about it too much. It can be like, it wants to control, it wants to manage, it wants to be in such control, it wants to be in the know. But the problem is that we have to understand that part of being down here in 3D isn't about knowing. It's about embracing the unknown and displaying that faith, not only in the in the universe, but also in yourself, in your higher self, and that's part of the process. That's how we learn. We get told what to do, then it would make this process obsolete. There would be no growing, there'd be no learning, there'd be no pressure, there'd be no suffering. So yeah, I'd advise anyone out there to just go for it, to just put yourself out there and not focus on the results of that. Don't focus on, say, trying to, I don't know, start a new project or rekindle a relationship with your twin flame or your soul family. Don't focus on the result of that. It doesn't matter whether you reconcile with your twin flame or whether they agree with what you're saying or whether the project fails or is successful. That's not, that's what the ego wants. The ego wants success or failure, worthy or unworthy. You have to do your best to focus on your reaction and focus on how you respond to that. That's how I've been doing it. That's how I reframe it. Too often my ego convolutes the process of the ascension between failure, success, progression, retraction, integrated, rejected, big, I'm bigger, I'm smaller now. It's just stuck in dualism. It's really unhealthy, and it really makes the process very unenjoyable. The only way you can really truly evolve and to grow and to transcend from it is to just embrace how you feel and to take note of how you feel. And the only goal you should ever have in your life is to grow personally, not to succeed externally, but to grow personally. And when you grow personally, for sure that's going to materialize in successful relationships or successful projects or success along your role within the divine plan. But when you start focusing the energy and the ego on success and the fear of failure and whether people are responding to you, that's when your reality becomes distorted, because the reality is a manifestation of who you are. And if you're constantly feeling powerless to your reality, then that's what's going to manifest in your life. Life is powerlessness. So yeah, that's what I've been learning. The true essence of power, true power, not power over money, not power through money, not power through accumulating relationships, not power accumulating wealth or a good job or a fancy house or a fancy car. Power in honouring the self, power in surrendering to yourself, the power in no longer having to defend, but while also honouring the masculine. It's important to honour the masculine as much as the feminine. It's just a case of tweaking it, working with it, having fun with it. It's okay to make mistakes. That's what I've been learning, especially, is that I'm a proper curious soul, and I always used to, and I'm so curious, and I love exploring. I used to just demonize. I used to think that I made mistake after mistake after mistake in my life. I never had any kind of clear route. I'm always chopping and changing, meeting different people, doing different things, and I've been learning to really appreciate that, because that's just part of my nature. I want to learn, I want to grow, and my ego doesn't understand that. My ego wants security, it wants comfort, it wants success, but that's not what my soul craves. My soul craves to understand, to see beneath the veil, to see more, to come to terms with my truth, to who I really am beyond the 3D. So yes, as well as balancing that masculine and feminine, balancing those 3D expectations along with those 5D understanding. It's not about the physical, about the obtaining wealth, success, friendships, relationships. It's about obtaining self-knowledge, knowing self, obtaining your personal truth. If that is your only goal, the rest will fall into place. And that's something you have to trust in, by trusting in yourself. So we're out here, learning day by day, going through the struggle, surrendering to the divine plan, surrendering to the oversoul, feeling blessed, understanding I'm but one single expression of a beautiful painting out here on earth, part of the many, embracing the pain, understanding there's purpose in the pain, understanding this is just an initiation for what is upcoming. Yes, do not take it too serious, do not get too invested in failure. See it as an initiation, see it as an investment for your future, investment for your role, and do your best to to see the comedy within the tragedy, because there's always some there. It's just a case of shifting your perception, and that is what ascension is. Ascension process is merely but a shift in how you see yourself, and therefore how you see the world. That's all it is. It's very simple. Keep it easy. It's all bliss, and it's no stress. Peace.